that's the only part of fighting. Like the last couple of times, I used to not get nervous at all, but they were like small crowds and like abandoned warehouses. What am I nervous about?
Yeah.
But like now, there's some big sold out venues like Androscoggins Bank Coliseum that was like sold out. I was like, oh my god, I'm getting so nervous.
You had a walkout, man.
Like, yeah,
like a long walkout.
So I get, now I get like nervous because of the crowd. So I have to learn how to deal with that too. But that's the part I didn't think that would make me nervous. I was really nervous. Like I just want to fight people. Can we do it in a back room somewhere? Maybe I will start jumping people in alleyways. It'll be less stressful. No, I'm just kidding.
I know, one of my what do you call it? My bucket list thing is to be in a barroom fight, and I actually won. I'm sort of almost.
That's cool.
They didn't have after the Conor McGregor fight over at the Ale House, the Miller Ale House.
Yeah.
I was there for that, and the people I was kind of like hanging with a little bit, they got in the barroom ball, and then I took it out into the street. And then I'm like in between, like walking this guy down, like he's like shit. And he's like, go home, mama, go home, mama. And I'm like, he's taking his shirt off, and I'm like, and I'm like, dude. And I got high heels off, and I'm stalking him. He's
that is awesome.
And then I'm like, what the hell am I doing? After a few glasses of Patron, that's what I end up doing. I'm like,
as the police are taking me, it was a bucket list item.
Yeah.
It was a bucket list item. Hands go behind your back.
I know.
Sure.
Really bad. I'm like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, I know. I noticed that, in some ways I've become a lot more passive than I used to be, and then in other ways, sometimes I just get really aggressive. When people have road rage for no reason at me on the road, they used to make me really mad, and now I'm I laugh, which makes them even madder, But then other things I was laughing because I saw Pete Barrett posted on Facebook that he went to the mall and he got really stressed out. Small things now really stress me out. It's fighters can get in the cage and
you're good to go.
Hurt someone and then they're stressed going to the mall, and that's totally me. I'll be in the supermarket waiting in line. I'm like, oh my god, this is taking forever. I can't cope. I totally get a rag.
I know. I don't want to wait in line ever.
Yeah.
Bring me to the back door.
I'll
go around and
why is this one running a check? Who writes checks?
I know.
Good.
So hey, this is Shelley and we're here for Evolve Women's MMA on our fifth podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here with the illustrious Rachel Reinheimer. And the reason why I say illustrious because her and I have a very unique history. We're on the older side, for one, of being in mixed martial arts. We're classics. And we're older than some of the classics that are professional fighters. Which is really something. But the thing of it is we're dreamers. And we have different dreams, but they involve women's MMA. And I'm going to let Rachel say kind of how she got into it and then how her and I have built this friendship over the years. And I'll let you jump.
That's a really beautiful way to put it, Shelley. We're dreamers. It's so true because I always feel like I have huge visions and it's hard to kind of rein that in. Why should I? Why should we? We only live once. We only go down this path one time. So I feel like, why rein in my vision? Even if I only get 50% there or 80% there, it's worth it, right?
Exactly.
It's worth it to live a full life. But I would say we met years ago back at Sayartong. I had just started there. It was my dream to be a fighter, an MMA fighter.
Which is really highly unusual for a woman to come into a gym like that because it was like coming into Fight Club at that period of time. It was mostly men. There weren't very many women in there.
Yes.
Myself and another girl, Lauren, was there, and there could have been maybe a handful, but I mean, you were
Jeanette started the month after me.
Yeah.
So I had seen MMA fights maybe a couple of years before. I'd never seen them before. My brother rented them at my house, and I thought, what is that? I want to do that. And so I did other martial arts. I dabbled in like Taekwondo. I actually trained with some guys in New Hampshire and did ninjutsu.
Ninjutsu.
Yeah, they were legit. These are legit group of guys, and it was really fun. But I still wanted to do something where I could compete, and
which is super bold. Because most of the women that I knew that even came in didn't even have that in the back of their heads. It was an inkling, but you definitely came in, I want to compete. I mean, she was very, this is what I want to do.
I knew I wanted to try it. And so to make a long story short, I showed up at the gym, and it was like this fight club in a basement. I loved it from the
Were you scared coming in, like, I mean, that black door, and you're going down into a basement. I don't know if the dog was there, but they had like
Ducati, yeah. No, you know what happened? I went to the front door, and
who had like a chain, like, you know, like they had a serious chain around him. Like,
I know,
it was
really
scary coming down.
Well, I went in the wrong door. I went in the front door, which was where the law offices were, and Mark's dad was there, and he's this cute little old man, and he's very flirtatious. It's so cute. And I said, I'm looking for Mark Delagrati's gym. And he's like, you're looking for Mark Delagrati's gym?
God, I didn't know this.
And he called me young lady, which I really appreciated, because I was like 37 or 38 years old. I was like, I like you already. But he sent me around the back, and, you know, I walked down the stairs, and Gina was sitting at the front desk. And Gina she just is a special person, you know, and I felt very welcomed, and she made me sign some paperwork, and it said, like, what is your reason for wanting to train here? And I think I put to fight. And she looked at me, so she's like, you want to fight? And I said, I do, in like a really small voice. Like, I couldn't even get it out. It felt silly even saying it out loud. And then
a little seed in your
it was like
will center.
And then she made me buy the biggest, puffiest shin guards they had, because she was terrified I was going to break in half. But it was actually jiu-jitsu that night, and so I went down there. So I started training, and I just kept showing up. When my kids were with their dad, you know, we had split custody at the time, and I just, when I didn't have my kids, it started off that way. I would go to the gym, and then I started spending all my spare time there, and you were there, and maybe 2 months in, they said they were going to have this in-house smoker, which, if people don't know what that is, it's basically like an exhibition fight, a chance for people in a gym to have the experience of preparing for a fight and cutting weight and weighing in.
And it was a secret one, too.
It's a secret one. It was very hush-hush. And a lot of them are. It's really just, it's not like a fight. It's meant to kind of give people the experience, just to see if they like it, if they want to keep going forward and do like real fights. I'm using air quotes.
Yeah. Troy was here at the time, too.
Oh, yes, Crutoy. He is, you know, the son of the founder of the gym, our you know, mothership in Thailand, and it was just such an exciting time. So I said, oh, I want to do it, but there were no other girls. So I was talking about it, and I just started asking people if they would fight me.
But how did you get me? Like, how did my name come up?
I think you were standing at the front desk, and they just said, would you fight me? Come on, Shelley, please. I really want to fight. Please, somebody fight me. And you were like, you look like a deer in the headlights, but then you said, well, I don't know. And then I think you kind of started to think about it, and you came back, and then you said, I think I'll do it. Yeah, okay. Because I was like,
okay, twist my arm. I'll do it. Well, you have to understand. She came in, and she's like, will you please, jumping like a bean. Like, will you please, dragging my arm. Please, I'm begging you. Please, I want to be an MMA fighter, and this is my opportunity. And please. I mean, it was like a little kid who, you know, was in a candy store and was not gonna
fight you already.
That was pretty much it.
Well, and we were the same size. I mean, you had way more experience than me. But I said,
you actually dropped weight to meet me. You were like, that was the other thing. It was like, I'll drop weight to meet you.
Yeah, I wanted to do the whole thing. I wanted the whole experience, soup to nuts. I wanted to prepare for a fight. I wanted to cut weight. I wanted to be just like all the fighters at the gym. I would sit and watch practice. And they probably thought I was like looking for a boyfriend or something, but I would just sit there and watch, and like every single thing that Mark Delgado said to the guys, I absorbed, and then I'd go home and write it down like a dork. And I just wanted to be like them, and I did what they did. If they were gonna eat broken glass crackers, I was eating broken glass crackers. So I wanted to do the whole thing, and I was just so excited about it. And I said, I know Shelley's probably gonna kick my ass, but I'm still gonna have fun with this whole thing. And it was fun.
It was
and
a
I was
blast.
so grateful. But before the fight, Jake came to me and said, they're gonna be punching you in the face, right? And I was like, no, I understand. Like, I think they thought it was like Tai Bo classes, and like we were gonna like do an aerobic workout. I was like, no, I get it. Like, I know this is a fight. I can do this. Like, you guys have to trust me. I can do this. Yeah, they were terrified for me. Terrified for me. And I said, really, I can
Nobody
do this.
gave a shit about me. They didn't give a shit. Nobody came and was terrified. Nothing. It was so funny. They didn't care. They were just like, go at it. You can do whatever you want to do.
You were a lot more experienced. So they said, well, Shelley will probably kick her ass, but probably won't break her nose. She'll probably be nice. She'll stop short of breaking her nose or knocking her unconscious. But it was awesome. It was fun. You took it seriously, which I really appreciated because I wanted that experience. And it was just wonderful because you really cared about the development of the women in the gym.
That was pretty much...
You put your money where your mouth was. You stepped in the ring to help me become a fighter. Like, you literally put yourself on the line to help girls in that gym. And I was like, oh my God, this woman really cares. And it was the experience of a lifetime. Like, I remember Crew Toy wrapped my hands. We just wore regular hand wraps. Right. I remember sitting there going, I can't believe this is fucking happening to me. I can't believe this is happening to me. This is like unbelievable. And I get goosebumps thinking about it. It was just really fun.
It was a great experience for me too. And I'm sad now that it was probably one of my only ones, but at least I had it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. I did try to go, and you've since had how many fights now?
Well, I did, I think 5 Muay Thai smokers, including our fight. And then I did a bunch of jiu-jitsu tournaments. And then I took maybe a year to just really work on wrestling. And then I started doing MMA. And then I just did the Thai fight. So I compete a lot.
She has. And
I just keep pushing. And that's the other thing. I knew that I really had to prove myself because I was older and a girl. And, it's just a rough world for a girl of any age.
There's preconditioning factors going in there because if you show any sort of feminine emotion like crying or anything like that after training, there's no crying in Muay Thai, no crying in baseball.
I cried through a lot of showers though.
Yeah, I bet.
I cried through showers.
In the beginning, if the girls, the women, that happened, I remember the guys thinking that you lacked confidence, which wasn't really the case. It was so intense, the training, that it was just
crazy.
It's kind of like women, it's their way of letting down and letting stuff go.
Well, you must have been going through it yourself as well because you didn't have a lot of other women to talk to that knew what you were going through.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Shelley was there, which was awesome, and she had a lot more experience than I did. So seriously, it was like having a fairy godmother, honestly. And Lauren was there, and Jeanette started the month after.
Yeah.
And Jeanette
She's been there now. You guys have been there.
Yeah, she's scary. She's a scary killing machine.
Oh yeah.
And
I sparred with her recently. I'm like, holy shit.
She's not a friendly killing machine like you,
She's a sweetheart.
She is a sweetheart.
She's a sweetheart,
she's got a nasty jab and a nasty
kind of.
I don't know.
She hits way harder than you expect her to hit. She broke my nose once.
Is she the one that did that?
The first time I broke my nose.
I remember that. You're like, well, I got that out of the way.
Yeah, I've had so many crazy experiences down there, but I remember I cried. The first time I cried, I've cried a few times down the gym, and the first time was, I think George Gurgel was down there.
Oh yeah,
and he was coaching people, doing rounds, and I think I had to go with Tateki, or I don't know who I was going with. I was rolling. It was horrible, and I was being crushed. This was in jiu-jitsu, and George is yelling are you gonna quit? Are you gonna quit? And everyone's yelling, and I'm like, at you? Yeah, while we're rolling, and I felt like I was gonna die, and then I just came off the mat, and I ran up to the front desk, and I started to cry, and Gina had never seen me cry down the gym. And she was like, I don't know what to do. Rachel's crying. I've never seen her cry before. I'm like, oh my God, that was so hard. And she was just like, take a deep breath, pull yourself together, and you get back out there because you are the toughest fucking bitch out here. And you're going to get back out there, and you're not going to let these guys get the best of you. And I was like, okay. And I ran back, and I was like, they'll think it's sweat, they'll think it's sweat. I'm wiping the tears off my face. And yeah, just, but I just really wanted to experience something that made me feel alive. And my fighting makes me feel alive, you know?
You have a daredevil kind of personality or character.
It's weird. I am like two sides of a coin. On one side, because I always say there's two kinds of people that do this sport. There's people that are like very disciplined, can handle a lot of repetition, a lot of downtime, a lot of boring things. And you have to do a jab a billion times.
Right.
The same jab.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with that and love it, you know? And then,
or you
just
can punch somebody in the face maybe with it.
Yeah, and it's just like, people have no idea what goes into this sport.
Yeah.
And then, or you're just crazy, or you're just nuts, you know?
I think
I think you have to like, just be able to be disciplined enough to ride it out. Just ride it out. It's like, it's definitely one of those things, like you just have to ride out the tough times, the plateaus, the disappointments, all of that.
Yeah, for sure. You, speaking of tough times, I mean, there was like 6 months that you took off from because you had an ACL injury.
Yes, and officially I took off the 9 months my doctor recommended.
It was 9 months, okay.
Yeah. I pulled my ACL I ripped it in a grappling tournament.
Yeah.
Back in 2000.
And that was the early on.
11.
Early on, where you could have just thrown in the towel and just said the hell with it. Because I know, because
I was 40.
I had an ACL injury from, like, it wasn't even anything exciting or whatever. It was during like training. This idiot guy just held on to my leg and wouldn't let go.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous.
Dumb things happen at training.
No, it's really stupid. And because of other surgeries, I just chose not to have surgery. And I was like, because I know, the length of it, and then being out of training. And at the time, my decision was like, no, I want to still train, but I didn't really have that goal to be a fighter. So you have to kind of really decide and balance out, what am I going to do here? Yeah. And that must have been really challenging because
my mom said something to me in the doctor's office. She's like, because I told, I must have said something about competing again when I was sitting there, and she said, you're going to fight again? I said, well, then why would I have this surgery?
Yeah.
This is a horrible, tough surgery to have. I opted for the patella tendon fix, which is like the hardest recovery. Yeah. I said, I can just sit and scrapbook with my friends from college, which nothing wrong with that, but like, I could still run in a straight line.
Yeah.
I could still do a lot of things, but the surgeon said to me, we don't typically do this for women, for people over 40.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm going to compete again. I need this surgery. And so,
wow.
Yeah, I told them, I said, I'm competing again. I need the surgery. So, awesome. They told me that they said, well, they didn't even have data for failure rates for athletes over 40. For the surgery.
So now they do.
There weren't even stats, right?
No, they didn't even have, they said, for athletes under 40, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what about over 40? He's like, well, we'll find out.
Cool.
Because I said, no, I'm going to do this. And actually, I never heard back from him, but I sent the surgeon, the first Thai fight I had, I actually won that one. And I sent him like a picture and said, look, you worked. My knee held up. Yeah. I actually couldn't go downstairs very well still when I had that Thai fight. So I was like, I hope I can get out of the ring.
Yeah, right? Oh my God.
I was like, wow. I mean, I can get upstairs.
Yeah, it's easy going up, but hard coming down.
It's a huge surgery. Yeah. But that was a defining moment, because I was like, well, how much do I really want this? And why am I doing this? Like, why am I spending all this time? I mean, I have 2 kids. I work full time. I'm a single mom. Yeah. I have a lot of other serious responsibilities. Like, it is a risky sport. You could get a concussion. You could get seriously injured. What if I compromise my ability to take care of my children? Like, those are good questions that smart people asked me. Yeah. So I had to really ask myself, why am I doing this? And when I balanced out all the pros and cons and looked at what I was getting out of it and what my family and my children were getting out of me having this experience, I did feel like in the long run, and I always make my decisions based on the long run, I said, in the long run, I feel like this is the right thing. I feel like I'm a better person. So if I'm a better person, I'll be a better mom. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm role modeling to my kids. I had a fight where, most fighters like have a breakdown sometime before their fight. Like either their camp's really hard or whatever. Like, it's not unusual to have like a breakdown for it. So one of my MMA fights, I freaked out like a week and a half before. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm 43, I'm fighting in a ring, I'm exhausted.
It'll hit you all at once.
Yeah.
How did I get here?
I'm sitting here on the couch, I'm crying.
Anxiety attack.
Yeah, I was like, what am I doing? And Miguel's like, okay, maybe it's fine. And my son comes out and he said, Mom, you wouldn't let me quit band. And he said, you're not quitting. And if you want to quit a month from now, that's fine. But you're going to do this fight and you're not quitting. You taught us to not quit.
How old is he when he said that?
Well, at the time he's probably 12.
What a time to hear your own words.
Yeah, right?
Yes. And I'm sitting there like, okay. And he was like, I don't care if you're mad at me for saying it, but there. And he walked off.
Wow.
And I just looked at my boyfriend.
Respect.
Like, I think I was just totally schooled right there. And I was
Respect
like,
to that kid.
yeah. So he just,
Lesson learned though, that you just set the example and your kid learned from it.
So right there, that right there was worth it.
Right
That
away,
right there.
action,
You don't
action,
quit.
action,
You make a commitment.
action.
You do your best. You try hard. You don't give up on it just because it gets hard. And that was like, oh my God, this was worth it because he took that away from it. So I think it makes me a better mom and a better person. I mean, you can't do this sport long term and not become a better person. It just forces you to do that.
I feel like a lot of times too, men don't even let themselves have the thought. Like, women may be more inclined to be like, maybe I can't do this.
Right.
But men are like, I can't even think about it. It's not, I have to hold in all these emotions and everything like that. But like,
it's true.
As opposed to being able to be like, maybe I can't. I don't know. But like, a lot of times,
test it, to get
to
out there.
Really,
test
a lot of times, just I feel like men just put it in their mind that like, I don't care how I feel or anything like that, and just power forward.
You're not allowed to have a moment of doubt.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's not masculine. It's not a masculine.
To doubt
quality
yourself.
To doubt yourself. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. I think it's more socially acceptable for women to do that.
Definitely.
But that kind of brings us back to that conversation about, what are the qualities that a fighter embodies in allowing people to have multidimensional personalities. Like I feel that the men that I know that do this sport do become more multidimensional because they're forced to face those issues in a way that, like, everybody sits at home on the couch, right? And you watch the action movies and you're like, I can totally take on a whole army by myself in the winter time with a sword and wearing chainmail. Like, I can do that. Everyone thinks they're like this super badass action hero. Super of their own movie. Yeah. And then when you're like standing there in your like Muay Thai shorts and you're ready to go out there and, try to like survive against some girl who's ready to take your head off, and you're like, oh my God, this is it. All that shit talking I did. I can do that. And like, allowing yourself to have that multidimensional personality, I've seen it change people, both sides of the coin. Like, men find that they are allowed to have a range of emotions, and women find that they're allowed to have a range of emotions.
So what example, do you know any guys that's kind of that you can think of? You don't have to name names or anything like that, but anybody that in particular that you've seen that happen?
Yeah, definitely. Over the years, I see the guys become more emotionally in touch with who they are, and definitely more evolved. The higher up they go, the more evolved they get.
And they become better fighters too.
They become better fighters, they become better people. And it just seems to do that for people. If you can kind of stick it out past the really tough parts and kind of allow yourself to be okay with it being hard, like, it will change you in good ways.
Do you think you learn, well, this is something some people will think, is that you learn more after a loss than you do a win?
I don't know. I think you can say that. Yeah, it's true, of course. If you don't learn something from losing, then what's the point? And that's just a metaphor for life, right?
Right.
But there's still a lot you can take away from a win. I think we should learn either way. Why waste the win?
Exactly.
Everything's an opportunity to learn. So I just try to get better every time and just learn something every time. I mean, it's supposed to be fun. I forgot that for a while. There was a period of time.
Well, last night, your fight on, what was it, Friday night? They were like, just go out and have fun.
Hold up. So, think of what you were just saying. Oh, boy. The issues today, Shelley. They're gonna send me to an early grave, I tell you. So what were you just going to say?
The wins and
About a
losses.
fight.
having fun.
Yeah, just for a while I forgot that
And
it's
so,
supposed to be fun.
according again, thank you for waiting.
Okay, so it's about, like your coaches were saying, just have fun out there.
Yeah, just have fun. Like, so sometimes I forget the lessons I've learned. Like, for a while I kind of felt like it got not fun. And then I've heard other people say that. And then I rediscovered the fun part of it and just kind of reminded myself that again, it just always feels like it's a metaphor for life. Like, yes, ultimately, you want to have as much fun as you can on this ride because it's the only one you get. So, enjoy it. And so last night or Saturday night, I just really tried to soak in the experience and just really tried to imprint in my mind everything. They put the whole Muay Thai thing on me. I mean, it was such an honor. They had the armbands and the robe and the Moncall and everything. And I was like, seriously, how did I get here? How did I get here? And Mark Delagrati called us before the fight. He said something inspirational. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? This is like unbelievable. So just reminding myself that it can be hard, but it can be fun too. And taking a little pressure off, but yeah, don't waste a win. Learn from that too.
Yeah.
No, trust me, when you win, the fight's never perfect either.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's never a perfect fight. Like, it's always ugly on some level. You know what I mean? It's like, it's
It
never
never goes like it did in training.
No, please. We're all like, that's all so amazing in training, and you feel like you're fighting at 50% always. And those like miraculous moments, like the Anthony Pettis off the cage.
Right.
Yeah, how do they do that?
Yeah, that stuff, it's like your fight's messy, you feel like you peed yourself, you don't know what's happening, like it's just always a mess, even when you win.
Well, that's Anthony Pettis. It's like a guy watching an action movie and he still thinks that was in the ring. Oh yeah, I'll just jump off the cage and punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's always messy, so there's always something to learn, and I just try to keep evolving, and I think the more I do this, and the closer I get to the potential end of it, the more I'm like, want to just enjoy the ride, and also just kind of, make it just like a normal part of my life.
Right.
And just kind of like, it's something that I do that's fun.
Yeah. So you see yourself sticking with even the training, even, if you decide not to compete.
Yeah, I definitely want to keep training. I really, really love this sport. I definitely will keep training, and I mean, that might change a little bit. I'll probably compete more in jiu-jitsu when I'm done with MMA.
I've seen a lot of people will stick with jiu-jitsu for a longer period.
I mean, you can do jiu-jitsu when you're like 95. I can do it in the nursing home.
Anthony Bourdain started when he was 59, or maybe 55, and became like a blue belt when he was 59.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could just lay there. Oh, they're passing my guard, whatever. Like, I'll just fake, I'm working my guard. This is definitely a place for me still in fighting as I age, and I feel like that's okay. It's okay that it evolves, and
because you did have a late start in getting into this.
Yeah.
And so, for women to think, oh, I'm too old for anything, that's a bunch of bullshit.
No.
I mean, you can
it
start any time of your life and get into something that you really, kind of, I think I might want to try this. You can get into anything you want, and you're a perfect example of that.
People will put limits on you. You don't need to do that to yourself.
No.
You don't need to put that limit on yourself. Trust me, if you can't do it, your body will tell you, and then maybe you need to adjust something.
Yeah, and you could still do it, but maybe you just don't do compete or
exactly.
I mean, that was my choice. It was my choice not to compete,
and that's
but I found other ways to
It's-
go about doing training into something that I
You
love
gotta be a
doing.
certain kind of person to want to get in there and do that. I mean.
Yeah, I think I would like to, but I had injuries and
and it's okay to say this is not where I'm at right now.
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with making that decision. Before this last fight, I said to my boyfriend, if I get the shit kicked out of me in this fight, and I feel like it's just not there anymore, this might be the last one. But that's not how I felt.
Yeah, that's good.
That is not how I felt. It felt fucking awesome.
Right.
And
I
it felt great. And I had a great camp, and I had a great weight cut, and I felt really good in the ring. I was just nervous. I think the adrenaline got to me, but I get nervous because these things are like sold out. I'm like, oh my God. But
You're never training in front of like hundreds or thousands of people.
No,
so that's one thing you can't necessarily train for.
What was really good
That's
about
true.
this place that they had it at was it was a small venue, and it was
Yeah.
just for Muay Thai. And you'd go in and you could see all your friends there.
Yes.
And then, you had the support of, your teammates are there, and you know that they're like pretty close, and you can probably hear them, where if you're in a bigger
Yes.
venue, you're like, I don't know where, your lights and camp, whatever.
Yeah,
But
feel more intimate.
But it is more intimate, and then too, it was hometowny, which is really
Yeah, it was so
fun.
nice.
And it was so nice to have here locally that we can have Muay Thai.
Oh my goodness, it's just so wonderful.
Because we haven't had that in this area for a long time. You can only go to New York to get it, and
to get sanctioned Muay Thai fights.
Yeah,
So to
now
have it
it
here
is.
in Massachusetts is just incredible. And
Is this the first? Was it the first?
this is the second
The
card.
second card.
They actually had contacted me about the first card, but I hadn't had my medicals completed yet, and I was also, there was just too much going on,
Right,
so I
right.
couldn't. So I said, well, please, please, please keep me in mind for your next card, which I thought was going to be in October, but it ended up being January. So
Even better.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just, I was just so.
So it was a
excited
good
about it.
fight. I mean, I got a chance to go. I thought it was really fun to
It
watch.
was good.
the fight.
Katana is a terrific person. We talked
Yeah.
before the fight. She's just a really terrific person and a great competitor, and it was super fun. I expected a brawl, and she was a
Yeah.
lot more technical.
It was
which I
really
loved.
nice to see the technical, because at the
Yes.
beginning, the other fights were when you're just starting out in Muay Thai, everybody ends up clinching, and they
Yes.
they're like in a ball and throwing punches.
But
and
at its best, like Muay Thai is like a devastating violent chess
watching,
match.
and watching you guys,
Yeah.
it was like, okay, you break away, you restart, like if you got your clinch, you break away a little bit, and then you kind of start banging again, and it was like really fun to watch.
Yeah, that was wonderful because I just didn't expect that. I thought that she was going to be more of a brawler.
Yeah,
because
I
I'd
did too.
seen like a little tape on her, and I was
Yeah.
like, she's just like a great person, and it was just. I felt like the vibe was really good, and it was just great. I loved it. She definitely brought the fight, and she got the win, but I don't feel bad about it. I feel like I did everything right, and sometimes you do everything right and you just don't get the win, and that's okay. I sometimes put too much pressure on myself because I'm older, and I feel like I have to win everything and do everything perfectly. But even for the best fighters on the planet, they do everything right, and sometimes you don't get the win.
Right.
So it's okay. And so I just feel like, so I asked the coaches after, I said, look, I was kind of thinking if I got my ass kicked, that I was going to quit. And they were like, no way!
Which is awesome.
Yeah, they were like, we're bringing you to your next fight ourselves. That's not happening. We're getting ready for the next one. I was like, all right.
So that's really encouraging too. You have such a good coaching, team behind you.
Incredible.
Those guys have been behind you for a long time now.
Yeah, incredible. Like, I mean, that's the reason that I can even do this at my age.
Yeah.
Because if I had been in a less knowledgeable gym, I mean, Mark Delgado's a legend, of course.
Right.
And just, I mean, sometimes I forget how amazing he is until you watch him teach or just move around or spar, and they're like, this guy is like a genius at this. And the staff, the trainers, they're just incredible. And so the level of Muay Thai.
Jake for a while.
We trained together for a long time. He was in my corner for I think almost every smoker I did.
Yeah.
He was in my corner for this Thai fight, and it was just awesome, to have that camaraderie back again. And Andy Cote was in my corner for this fight. It was just awesome. I mean, those guys, they love Muay Thai.
Yeah, they live, breathe. Every weekend, if there's a show, they're at it.
They love it. They love it. They love it, love it, love it. And I love it. And so that sort of feeling of really caring about the sport is really awesome. And just, it was just an honor.
There was like, I think there was 5. It was pretty equal, the amount of female fights.
And girl fights on the card. It was
on the
awesome.
card, which is I haven't seen that since like back in the day. I had to go to New York, and they would have an all-girl card, but like they would just put all the girls on one card, and because they could get them all on. But now, like you actually have, it was like half and half almost.
Yeah, there were like
five or
there were at least 5 or 6 girl fights on the card.
Yeah,
it was incredible.
Yeah,
it was really incredible. And they it's interesting too because like I said, like they're real athletes
right
now. It's not just girls that are like oh, I think I want to try this, as you know, these are girls that are like, some of them are coming from other sports.
Exactly.
Some of them have, you know, they've already proven themselves in other sports, and then they're coming into this sport and starting to dominate. And people don't feel like you have to be put in a little box anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
And now, I mean, you've been training at SIT for, it's been like 6 years or something
Since
more.
2009.
And the
So it's 8
difference,
years,
and
8
the
years.
difference in you know, training for you now, like, I mean, you're in the fight team now, so you can, you know, you have that.
Fight team.
It's like a huge thing.
It was so hard to get on that team.
I remember the first day we did the fight team together.
It's so hard.
It was really hard
my
and really
God.
scary. Really
Well, I used to
scary.
sit there and watch through the fence like a little kid, and one day John Johnson said to me,
Yeah,
how
it was
bad do you
scary.
want to be in here?
Yeah.
And I
really
said,
scary.
well, bad. Like, why the fuck do you think I'm here, you know?
Yeah.
And he said, all right, show up on Monday. That was a Saturday.
Yeah.
I was so scared
Yeah.
for 2 days.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep. I couldn't
Yeah.
eat. I was so
Do you
terrified.
remember the gloving up and they're wrapping they putting the tape around our hands?
I'm gonna die.
And I'm
gonna
like,
die.
shit. And Heather came down from northern New Hampshire, and we had Vaseline put on our faces. We're like, why do we need that? You know, maybe a little bit of the
They're gonna hurt us.
Yeah, right. And I just stuck with Rachel pretty much the whole time. And
Yeah.
I did a little bit with
That was
for
fun.
this time. It was
And
really-
Heather. Yeah, I got to start with Heather, which
it
was fun.
It was